And then after the Levy one, then my friend was like, so how was your first concert experience? Then I was like, I think I prefer being on stage. And she's like, wow, okay. It's just, on stage more comfortable. Yeah. Hi, I'm Shazza. I'm a singer-songwriter from Singapore, and I've been dabbling mostly in pop music at the moment. I also like to include other inspirations in my music, so I like to put in a bit of folk, country. I just like to experiment, so that's what I've been enjoying doing with my music at the moment, yes. It's a very silly, very silly story. Okay, so I was on BuzzFeed and I was reading an article about Harry Potter. And you know how BuzzFeed, like the writing is super casual, right? So they were calling Harry Potter Hazza P. So I was like, oh, okay, so you can shorten a name from like Harry to Hazza. So if I did that to my name, because my name is Sharifa, it would become Shazza, I suppose. So when I was starting my YouTube channel, I needed to come up with a name, and I wanted it to be catchy and interesting and not just like Sharifa Amina, which is my real name. So I tried Shazza because I couldn't think of anything else, and it just stuck. So I've been writing songs since I was 11 years old, and as you can imagine, at 11, you aren't very nuanced in the process of songwriting. So for me, it started off as like an interest because I've always loved music. I grew up surrounded by a lot of it at home. Like my mom used to play a lot of Norah Jones and Frank Sinatra and stuff. So there were quite a few different influences around me. We had a lot of Black Eyed Peas in the house as well. My brother was a big fan. So I think because of that, because of how much music I consumed, I fell in love with the way songs can tell stories. I was always drawn to lyrics. That's something that always fascinated me. Like, you know how in the old CD like cases, the booklet has lyrics? I used to love to just go and read them. So I think because of that, I wanted to try my hand at doing it as well. And singing is something that I've always been drawn to. So it was a very natural thing for me to step into. So I think I wrote my first song at 11, and it was like my first full song. Because growing up, I think there were always like lyrics bouncing around in my head. But yeah, when I was 11, I wrote my first full song, and it was a breakup ballad called Please. I did not have any experience with love at the time, so I don't know what I was talking about at all. But it was a fun one, and I think from there I just fell in love with being able to tell a story through a song and convey that much emotion in like a matter of minutes. As much as I have been enjoying putting my emotions into my songs and kind of making that a primary focus in my writing, I think storytelling is timeless, and it's the kind of thing that appeals to everybody, because I think that's the beauty of songwriting a lot of the time, is that, you know, whether or not you're going through it, you can tell a story for somebody and they can relate to a song and it can do something for them, you know. I'm still learning to overcome them. I think my primary challenge as a songwriter is the occasional creative block. For me, it's an outlet. So when I can't do it, I feel very constricted, and I don't feel like myself because it's such an integral part of my being. As of now, I haven't been writing like that much, and I miss it a lot because I've been focusing a lot on putting up my songs and trying to put that out, you know, like a regular stream of content, and a lot of energy and resources and my time went into marketing and planning out that process. That's the most tedious bit of it. So I didn't really have time to write, and I missed it a lot. But recently I've been trying to get it back into it since I started working with my team and stuff. But yes, main challenge is basically the creative blocks that come. And I think when it comes to overcoming it, I try to just not force it too much. I like to find inspiration. So I think what inspires me a lot is like, okay, let's say I'm going through a creative block and I'm feeling miserable about it. Then I listen to a song and I'm like, whoa, that is such a beautiful song, and the way that the songwriter wrote it, you know, it inspires me to want to create something like that. So that spark sometimes is enough to get me to like, okay, let's put some like time aside and sit down and force myself to write a bit, you know. That's something that helps lah. Other than that, I think I like to consume other forms of media and stories. You know, like when you watch a movie, that's something that has been helping me so far. Yeah. I think a big one for me that I think a lot of people associate me with as well is Yuna, because I think growing up, I was just super inspired by the fact that somebody who looked like me in a sense, you know, was able to get that far in her career as a musician. I remember reading an article about her and feeling super like, oh, maybe I can do this. And I think I was in secondary school. And I think from that period of time, going from secondary school to poly, there was a lot of, uncertainty in terms of where I would go with my life, of course, as a lot of people in that time period would be facing, right? But because I've always known that music is something that I want to pursue. It's just that, you know, when you know where you want to get, but you don't know where the road is or like how to get to that point. So it felt like that for a very long time. And reading that article was a big help in making me feel like, hey, actually, maybe this is possible. And even though I don't know the way there, maybe I could get there one day, you know, like to be like Yuna, you know. So yeah, I don't think we make very similar music because she's more of an R&B artist, and I think I've been dabbling more in pop. Maybe one day I'll try the R&B route as well. But yeah, I think as a creator and what she represents to me, it's very important to me, and I'm very grateful that I have this influence, you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing to have somebody like that to look up to and be like, hey, maybe I can do this one day. That's what I want to do for other people as well. So yeah, I think other than that, Nikki, I really like her music. Her songwriting is amazing, and that one is more music-wise. Like, I really like her sound and stuff. So yeah, Yuna and Nikki, those are two of my inspirations. I'm very excited for this question. Okay, so there's this song by Dolly Parton. She's one of my songwriting inspirations called Old Flames, bracket, Can't Hold a Candle to You. So it's a beautiful song about how, you know, when you're in love with somebody, I suppose, you know, if you found them a bit later in life, you might have had other dalliances with other lovers in the past. But regardless of, you know, whether you've come across an old lover or not, they can't compare to who you're with now, that you found the one. And I really like the way that she wrote it. One time I was listening to it with my dad in the car, and I'm like, did you hear that? Did you hear that lyric? Then he's like, what? Then I had to like explain, I'm like, okay, old flames, can't hold a candle. Like, whoa, the whole fire thing. I don't know. I'm a very visual person, and when I love words. I just love words and literature. So when the literature has like a visual aspect to it, that's my favorite thing, I think. Yeah, so this song in itself like has a lot of that, and I really love it for that. I think Dolly does a lot of that in her writing, and it's a big inspiration for me in my own. I tried to do that. I don't think I've gotten to that. I don't know if I'll ever get to that level, but it's a very nice thing that to want to apply to your song, I think. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't. It's a great song.